do.
Just waiting to see if anybody is going to be getting on track here. Left John Betafer specifically. See if he puts in a qualifying time or if he wants to do a last to first challenge here.
Yeah, we'll see this one. Let's take a look here. Looks like we may have had an issue getting the YouTube feed up here. We'll take a look and see. Yeah, there we go. Those of you who are watching on YouTube, thank you very much for checking in and hanging out with us. Also watching on Twitch, we appreciate you. And it looks like we will not have another attempt at qualifications because we're down to 15 seconds. It is not enough time to get a lap in the books. So Andrew Berry will be your pole sitter here tonight with a lap time of 17:301. Let's see if we can.
Jason Owens, in P12 after qualifying, only getting one lap in. 1,000th of a second off of Michael Long in 11th there with the 17.876. He's got a lot of work to do.
Yes, he does. And let's talk about a guy who's going to be starting from the good end of the field and bring him into the booth with us here, Mr. Andrew Berry. Congratulations on picking up a TNT Series pole award. What are you thinking here as we get ready to roll around Martinsville for 50 minutes, I should say? Kind of wish it was a 50 lapper, I would think.
Yeah, 50 laps might be less painful. Yeah, it should be a good race. I see at least one new name that's usually pretty quick in here, so that should be good. Yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting messing with traffic. It's pretty much a one-line track, so I don't know how well it's going to race, but I guess we'll find out in about 2 minutes. So.
Absolutely. All right, buddy. Well, congratulations once again on the pole award, and hopefully we're talking to you later on the night.
Yep. Thank you.
So there you go. There's Andrew Berry, your pole sitter, and let's get you the starting lineup for tonight's race. Berry's going to line up alongside of Wes Shire on the front row by almost 0.2 of a second. Andrew Berry looks like he could be off on another planet once again here tonight. Stephen Thompson and James Watson on row number 2. Row 3 will have Simon Fell and Peter Donchak. Dave Sparks and Alex Teeter on row 4. Row 5 will have Nick Camargo and Vic Aldridge. Mike Long and Jason Owens on row number 6. Row 7, John Betafer and Zach Nurenberger. And all alone on row number 8 will be the 25 of Rick Cleary. One of the storylines that we have to pay attention to here is this 10-point separation between Andrew Berry and Wes Shire in the point standings. Kylo, what are you thinking here? If you're Wes, stay close, I would assume is the thought process. You don't want to give up a ton tonight when you know you have the potential to make up some ground on Andrew next week at the Ims Road Course and then Gateway coming out to close out the season.
Yeah, I think you got to go here if you're Wes. It's you can't drop any points really to Berry at this point in time because one mistake at those last couple of races and you're out of that championship fight. So if I was him, I'd be trying to get that lead and not let Andrew have it, just like he did at IRP last time out. Held that race for the entirety, basically, in front of Andrew and held him off. That's how he's got to do it. That's how he's got to get it done.
Field is making their way down the backstretch. Pace car will make the hard left-hand turn into pit lane. And as always, race fans, the start of the TNT Shock Series is going to be all yours. Very neat and tidy lap number 1. I have to say I am a little bit surprised at that one. Berry going to be able to hold off Wes Shire at this point. It's down. It's 0.2 of a second. Good run for James Watson here, holding on in third. In fact, Watson going to have a peek to the inside of Shire into turn one. Going to force West way up the racetrack. That's how you have to get the pass made, and really force them up the racetrack into no man's land above the concrete.
Yeah, I think West overdid it a little bit there. He probably could have held a little tighter line, but decided to just not bother with it. Get back in line in front of Steven, behind him. So he can't keep losing position, though. He's got to stay in touch with Andrew here. Further back in the pack, just looking at Jason Owens, John Badafer, their progress through the field so far. A little bit of an issue on lap one with Jason and I believe it was Zach Nuremberg. A little bumping going into turn 3 and 4, but they made it through, and they're working on the back of Vic Aldrich and Nick Camargo right now, trying to get through the field.
You have Owens and Badafer on the left-hand side of your screen. Race leader is going to be on the right-hand side. Try to keep track of everybody here, at least as much as we possibly can. Owens and Badafer both able to clear Nick Camargo off at turn 4. Now they'll set their sights out for Vic Aldrich. Trouble for Rick Cleary. He spun to the outside of turns 1 and 2. We'll see if he's going to be able to keep that car in a straight line enough to get back to the pit area. He's looped around, and caution flag is out. Yellow flag number 1 on the racetrack here as we are down to 47 minutes and 38 seconds remaining. Take a look.
There you go, the one-stop strategy. We take a look at the replay here. Rich Cleary was running at the back of this pack here, and yeah, just got a little bit wide there.
Yeah, basically it was one of those that he sort of overcooked the entry into turn 1. The car looped around, banged it off the wall, seemed like he might be able to get back to the pits off at turn 2, and that's where it really snapped out, and unfortunately coming in front of the race leaders, that will be the end of the night for Rick Cleary. Little bit of a surprise here. Jason Owens making his way down pit lane along with Mike Long and Zach Nurenberger as well.
Guaranteeing that one stop, I think, is the point here. Those guys, except for Jason, really aren't going to lose too many positions. Both Zach and Michael were running at the back of the pack there. But yeah, just confirming that one more stop will make it. Everybody was under the impression that 45 laps or so was the limit on a green flag run, and just based on timing now, we should be able to hit that pretty easily thanks to this one caution we've had.
And let's bring Jason Owens into the booth here. And Jason, we got you up here on the screen, and is the thought process here now that you can make it the rest of the way on fuel?
Oh, heavens no. I just started so far in the back due to wrecking on my second lap. I mean, maybe if we get enough cautions, I can get there from here, but really just trying to get a little bit off strategy and build myself a window and maybe get lucky with a caution later in the race.
All right, buddy. Well, good luck the rest of the way here. Hopefully we're talking to you again a little bit further towards the front.
Doubt it, but let's go.
He doesn't sound very confident.
I think crashing in qualifying can do something to your mojo.
How do you recover from that when you know how important qualifying is going to be? How do you kind of take yourself mentally out of that position of I'm getting myself refocused here and good things are going to happen?
Just switch personalities and pretend that you're only a good race driver and a bad qualifier, and then that leaves your mind immediately. It's what I do most weeks, and it works out for me.
It sounds about right. Split personalities, as if we've never heard of a racing driver with multiple personalities before. So lights are out. We will go green next time by. Once again, if you're enjoying the show here on YouTube or on Twitch, give the video a like and a share. My name is Chris Graham, joined in the booth by Mr. Kylo Ciacelli. A little bit interesting here. You really can't run all the way up to the wall like they ordinarily would try to. Green flag goes back in the air. 14 laps on the board, 44 minutes to go. Andrew Berry gets a good restart. He's going to hold the advantage over James Watson in West Shire.
James is as close as anyone's been to Andrew tonight, so we'll see if he's got anything for him. He looked pretty quick in the long run pace, so we'll see what he can do.
Yeah, let's go on board here with James Watson. Interesting, you can really see how much banking there actually is in this racetrack. Kind of following along on the gyro cam here, but just so difficult to get caught up to somebody. And I would imagine that the loss of aerodynamics is going to be very, very important here, as we've got caution flag number 2 on the racetrack, and it will be trouble, looks like, for Nick Camargo and Peter Donchak.
Yeah, it looks like 2 different incidents. Looks like Nee had an incident spinning out of turn 3, and then Peter Donchak was outside of the wall in turn 2.
Yeah, a little soft spin there for Nick Camargo. Kind of no harm, no foul. See what happened to Peter Donchak. Yeah, just the tiniest bit too heavy on corner entry. The car snaps around. The Monster Energy colors on the side of that number 57. But again, didn't look like he hit anything until he got up on the curbs. So looks like Peter Donchak will be able to continue here as well. A lot of harmless self-spins.
Yeah, more takers to pit road here. John Beta for Vic Aldrich. And also everybody who pit under the last caution. So Jason Owens, Michael Long, and Zach Nuremberger all pit as well. It looks like Jason Owens, having the least amount of fuel to put in his vehicle, will gain all those spots on pit road. So good little play from him. Psychological advantage now. He makes up a few more positions on track there without having to do any overtaking. He's up 4 spots now from where he started.
He's up
8th position now.
Yeah, he's up 4. John Betafer is up 2. And taking a look, let's see. Yeah, timing and scoring saying that these guys are also taking tires, is what it looks like anyway, based on, well, maybe not. Not on the stop for Jason Owens at 4.2 seconds, but that could come into play later in this race as well. If you're able to get some fresh sneakers on these race cars, may be able to do a little bit of damage here if people are struggling with worn out, junked up tires after a halfway, half race stint.
Yeah, the Coopers that these cars run are actually pretty consistent. They don't drop off too much, too dramatically, like a Pirelli or something like that would. Might be just a 10th per lap kind of a thing. More of just a feeling in the car. Might give you a little bit of a psychological advantage if you do have some fresh sneakers on there. But yeah, Jason Owens only having to do a slight top up after pitting on lap 9. He had a short stop and gained a couple spots. So did Michael Long as well. He gained a lot of spots in that pit cycle as well.
You know what? I really like the call because, like Jason mentioned about putting yourself off strategy a little bit, at some point, you're either going to say, okay, I'm good on fuel, I'm not coming in again, or you're just going to organically start to cycle yourself towards the front. One way or the other, whether Owens has to pit again or not, sort of irrelevant because he knows everybody ahead of him has to.
Yeah, he still has to as well. There's no way these guys make it all the way. They're just playing the safe game and making sure one more stop will do it. You could probably do about 22 to 24 minutes on a pit cycle here. So as the green flag comes back out, Andrew Berry takes off this time, gets a nice jump over James Watson in P2.
And quite frankly, everybody is being well behaved at this point, which I'll say is a little bit surprising.
Now for the Shock Series, not at all. 100+ laps at USA with no cautions. Never forget, Chris.
Oh, one car up into the outside wall, and I think it's John Bedifer. It is. We are back under the caution flag, and the cause is for John Bedifer getting loose and spinning that car into the turn 2 safer barrier. Take a look and see what happened here.
Oh, it looks like Michael got in the wall onto the exit of 4 there, and it threw John off. He was just out of the groove and lost it. Yeah, and he's going to lose that left front tire. He had to take the tow back to pit lane. Oh, that's unfortunate. I was excited to see what John could do tonight against these guys.
It beached!
But, he beached it.
He might have been able to drive that car back, but the grass caught him up. That's a tough break for John Bedifer. In addition to the repair time that will be ongoing, he also is unfortunately going to have pretty substantial repair time as well. We're going to tell you about this a couple of times over the course of the night so all of our viewers can join in the fun here if you are so inclined. Coming up next week, the TNT Special Event Series is running the Vintage Indianapolis 500. March 17th, 9 p.m. at the Speedway. DW12s, the IR09 Crap Wagon, the Lotus 79, the Lotus 49, and the Sprint Car. Pavement sprint cars, all running the same 500-mile race at the same time on the same racetrack, closing speeds in excess of 120 to 130 miles an hour from the DW12s down to the Lotus 49s and the sprint cars. This race was insane last year, and we're going to do it again this year. Rows of 3 taking the green flag. I cannot wait. Let us know in the comments. Do you want us to broadcast it, or would you rather a tape delay highlight show? Or what do you want to see from that one? Because part of me says I want to drive it, but man, that show was so much fun to call last year.
Just thinking about those closing speeds made you cringe just a little bit.
Oh, Mike McCullen, thank you for calling out my stupidity. It is May 17th, not March. Mike is working race control tonight, so he's got nothing better to do than to call me out in the comments here. Thank you much, buddy. Talking about the self-spins, Mike's saying, I think we're going to see a lot of that tonight. Yeah, unfortunately, I sort of think so. Kind of no way around it.
Yeah, just kind of the nature of the racetrack. Very much different setup to what we normally do in these open wheel cars. Is green flag is out once again. Andrew Berry on the gas quickly and trying to run away, but we'll see how long this lasts. Everybody's pretty well behaved in turn 1 again. Looks like right at the back will be the only side-by-side action.
Let's slide back here, pick up Mike Long and Zach Nuremberger. Oh, and right as we get to him, Mike Long going to go around. Another solo spin. He'll get the car corrected, but unfortunately, that's going to put us under the caution flag once again here.
Yeah, he was just trying to make a move there, keep the position on the outside of Nuremberger, and just got on it a little too quickly. Everything up to temperature.
Race control says he's drinking for every solo incident. So let's pray for Mike's liver here tonight, as I believe that is number 4 this evening.
Yeah, we've only had 3 cautions, but the one caution had 2 separate incidents. So yeah, we are up to 4.
Yes,
Good
4.
count there, Chris.
Yep, total. Yes, 3 of the 4 cautions have been solo car incidents. And I tell you what, you can see Andrew Berry trying to weave that car around. At this point, it's really important to keep as much heat as you possibly can in these tires, because you could be talking about heat cycling things and that becoming an issue for these drivers.
Yeah, they've only done maybe 15 laps under green flag conditions of the, 33 that we've now ticked over on. So doing 5 laps at a time is not great for the tires. And you're going to keep losing temperature, get it slightly back, never up to full, and then back down again. It's not good here.
Definitely not what these guys want to be doing. In fact, let's take a look here at the weather conditions presented by our friends at the Weather Center. Helps if I hit the right button. Offensively accurate weather for eastern Pennsylvania. 66-degree ambient temperature. Wind's going to be a little bit swirly, but out of the northwest at 6 miles an hour under clear skies. Only a 68-degree track temperature. That's going to make things really difficult to get heat built up in these tires at all, even with how much kind of cornering pressure you're going to put on the right fronts.
Yeah, it just brings everything down an extra 5 or 6 degrees from where you'd be at a normal daytime event. Just looking in, Jason Owens has pit twice under this last caution flag, so he is now dead last in line, and he thinks he might be okay to make it the rest of the race on this tank of fuel. So he's playing his cards early here. We'll see what everybody else thinks of that. I believe we have 1 to go here. They should be coming to the green flag this time by.
Yes, they will be. Lights are off on the iRacing safety car. Andrew Berry once again going to lead the field back to green. James Watson, Wes Shire, Stephen Thompson, Simon Fell, your top 5. And what the hell, let's give you a shot here. Y'all go ahead and crank it up. Down to just under 31 minutes remaining. Andrew Berry still the race leader as we get caution on the Speedway once again. Trouble for Peter Donchak. Man, same kind of deal. 3-4 laps of green flag racing and heat cycle the tires once again.
Yeah, up on the outside in Nürburgring here through 3 and 4, and on the exit just half a lane up off of that grippier side of the racetrack, and that's going around. Very lucky not to collect anybody else there, including Jason Owens. Just internally thinking in my head that Jason Owens is playing with fire here, keep putting himself at the back when all these incidents are happening. He was lucky to get away there. Looks like the leaders are going to be coming down pit road, though. Everybody else is coming down. So we'll see what this does for the lineup, because not everybody does come down. James Watson, Stephen Thompson, Simon Fell all stayed out. So only about half the field coming in. So we've got a lot of split strategies going on here.
Yeah, Andrew Berry is in his box. Wes Shire getting to his box as well. Berry up on the chip. He will be down and away quickly. 7.47 seconds the time of the stop for Andrew Berry. 8.38 for Wes Shire. Alex Teeter, Vic Aldrich, Nika Margot, Zach Nuremberger, and Peter Donchak all making their way out of the pit lane. But definitely going to change things up a little bit here because we now have James Watson at the head of the field, and he's going to have Steven Thompson right behind him. Thompson was the quickest throughout the practice session. He's going to be an interesting one to follow along with here. Didn't qualify as high as he might have liked, only on the inside of row number 2. Right there at the front, but he hasn't really had a chance on any of these restarts to make up some ground.
No, he's just been hanging out in line, and really he was running P4 comfortably there the whole race. Don't really think he had too much pressure from behind, but we'll see if we can get a green flag run in what Watson's pace is like and what Steven's pace is like as well. Because, yeah, both those guys were very quick in the long runs. Just looking back to see where everybody ended up. So Jason Owens is going to end up in P6. Michael Long in front of him. Those two are on the same strategy, pitting at lap 33. Then Andrew Barry, the first of the stoppers, on lap 40. Andrew Barry, Westshire, Alex Teeter, Vic Aldrich all came down pit road at lap 40 here. So not too much difference on the strategy, but enough of one to just note it and have it in the back of your mind here.
Yeah, looking at top 4 that haven't stopped yet, I don't think they can make it. I mean, with how at the rate we've been getting caution flags, who knows if you could possibly make the end of this thing. But at a certain point, I would imagine some of these incidents, they're going to start hitting things. And when that happens, now you have fewer cars on the racetrack, fewer opportunities for the yellow. It sort of turns into a long-run race just as a matter of attrition.
Yeah, just playing the long game here. These guys just waiting it out, going as long as they can and see what happens. Now some of the leaders are back in the pack there. There's going to be some action as they try and move their way forward through the slower cars. As the green flag is out and James Watson is away down into turn 1.
Watson gets the nice clean run.
Oh, there's contact, trouble on the racetrack. Jason Owens has been spun by Andrew Barry going through turn 1 and 2. He doesn't seem to have hit anything, and he is able to get the car going again. Oh, man, that was a big incident into turn 1. Only one car involved, though.
Let's see. We're going to have to pull up the, I think, the closer look camera at this one. Take a look and see what happened here to Jason Owens. Oh, maybe a little punterino there.
Oh, you know what? Looking back at that, I think Wes might have hit the back of Andrew, sending him into Jason. I think that might have been a pool shot there from Westshire.
May have been, but Jason Owens, he's trying to steer out of the way of everybody. And slides it over the grass so he doesn't beach it. Owens is going to have to come into the pits, though.
Oh, and uh-oh, it looks like we have another issue. Dave Sparks is parked up on the inside of the front straightaway. Sounds like he's having an issue with the VR headset as just driving under the pacing laps, and he just makes a turn that he doesn't know he's doing, I think.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that's gonna be a bonk. That's gonna be a front wing change at minimum here. Dave is running pretty well, actually, up in the pack. Minding his own business, really, and man, a tech issue like that really hurts. He's got a lot of work to do now.
Gonna hurt Mike McCullen's liver, too, because if the first one was for contact, the one for Dave Sparks was absolutely a solo incident. So, Mike, go ahead and imbibe a little bit more here, buddy. We are going to have Mike absolutely tuned up for this Pizza at the Pagoda podcast recording coming up here in a little bit. So we're just past the halfway point. James Watson, Stephen Thompson, Simon Fell have not stopped yet. Michael Long is the first car that's made a stop in the 4th position. He's 15, almost 16 laps on this set of tires, but again, not many of them under the green flag. Wes Shire is 9 laps into the stint, as is Alex Teeter, Vic Aldrich, Nick Camargo, Peter Donchak, and Zach Nurenberger. Nurenberger actually being scored 8 laps into the stint. Jason Owens and Andrew Berry, tail of the field as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. Pace picks up. We're underway once again. 23 and a half minutes left to go. How quickly can Andrew Berry and Jason Owens pick their way back through this field?
Michael got very wide into turn 2 there, but that was controlled. He's just getting out of the way there and staying out of the way.
Contact!
Oh, more trouble on the racetrack.
Little
like
bit more Punterino.
Yeah, Nurenberger and Donchak, I believe, were the 2 cars involved. Looking to the inside of a move that wasn't really on, I think, was Zach Nurenberger. We go into turn 3. Yeah. I don't think he belonged there. I don't think Peter did anything wrong. Looks like he's going to be away without damage. But he will be at the back of the line. And actually, both of them are going to come down pit road anyways to get any repair work done. But yeah, just trying to make up some spots there with Zach, and a little bit too aggressive on a move there. So we're back under caution here again. But for a racing incident, not a solo spin. So, Mike, go to the bathroom, take a break. You'll be all right for about 2 or 3 minutes.
Let's see if we can sneak a word in here with our race leader, James Watson. And James, at this point, we're down to 22 minutes left. Do you think you can make it on fuel without stopping here?
I don't know, to be quite honest with you. I think I'm still going to need a few more yellows. I have no clue, to be honest with you. I have no idea what I'm going to do from this point out. Just hope for the best.
All the caution laps sort of make it difficult to get a decent fuel number. I mean, you know what you were able to do in practice, but race conditions are obviously a little bit different. How frustrating is it to be kind of start and stop like this and not being able to plan out your strategy?
Well, if you're trying to save fuel and go to the entire race without needing to stop, these cautions are actually the opposite of frustrating.
All right, buddy. Well, hopefully we're talking to you again. Fantastic new skin on that race car tonight. Looks good, and hopefully we're seeing it in victory lane later.
Oh yeah, just happy to be giving it a good run so far.
Absolutely. James normally doing the Pizza at the Pagoda podcast recordings while driving something else. The guy runs in 47,000 iRacing leagues.
You are not wrong, man. The amount of different series names that I see when I load up iRacing that he's just joined, it's a different one every time. You've never seen it twice. The guy's an animal. He loves driving cars. You can't blame him.
You know what? Kid loves what he loves, and he's good at it, too. Multiple-time champion in the jumpy trucks, I think Pro 2s, Pro 4s. It obviously runs the open-wheel car as well. He's not bad in a stock car either. Trying to close the gap to points leaders Andrew Berry and Wes Shire. Watson entering the night 54 back, but if I remember correctly, there's drop weeks that have not been taken into account yet. Championship may not be over yet. We'll see as we go back under the green flag here with 19 minutes and change left to go. Oh, we've got a caution. Andrew Berry's going to be involved.
Yeah, some light contact really at low speeds. It was Nick Camargo and Vic Aldrich going side by side and down into turn 1 right off the restart. Vic did not get a good jump there and just had a checkup behind him. Some light contact from Andrew behind, but it looks like both those guys will be able to get running again. We'll see if Andrew has to do a wing change or if he can just check on the fuel and tires and be on his way.
And taking a look here, Vic Aldrich is in the pit lane.
Looks like Andrew stayed out, so he's confident he doesn't have any damage there.
Yeah, I don't know that Andrew made contact at all. He was just hard on the binders.
Yeah, just taking a look at the nose, it looks clean. He's just getting a little check here from some of the other drivers. That looks straight. Yeah, that's all good to go there. He must have got a 0x because he was worrying about it, but I think it was right on the dot of the nose there, so he'll be okay to continue.
At a certain point here for Watson, Thompson, and Simon Fell, are you getting close to the point of if you don't come this time, you're not coming at all?
Yeah, probably. Because everybody behind them is good to go from here. Well, they should be very close to good to go if they're not. Because the last ones to get pitting in were about 48, 49 laps. Yeah, the top 3 are definitely committing to
at least trying to run the race without stopping.
Yeah, sorry, I was just getting broken off. Our brilliant race director, Mike, was just letting the drivers know at this point, any cautions will be quickie yellows, so should only be 2 or 3 laps, and then back to green flag again as we tip under 15 minutes to go here. No lap traffic to really contend about. Dave Sparks, Rich Cleary, and John Baderfer are all running either out of the race or at the back of the pack. So nobody to contend with there with wave rounds or anything. As we get the 1 to go this time by. Lights are out on the iRacing safety car, and we'll try one more time, see if we can get something going here. Just over 16 minutes remaining in our 50-minute race session.
I'll tell you what, the quickie yellows really kind of does finalize things for the 3 race leaders, because not a lot of time to come down pit lane and get the repairs done. The quickie yellow is basically the first time by under the pace car, they're getting the 1 to go. Big move at the back there by Jason Owens. Three wide, Andrew Berry having a peek to the inside.
Jason's having none of it, though. Zach Nuremberg on the outside now of Andrew Berry. He's going to lose the momentum, though. Berry's going to slip back in the line. Man, that was dangerous from our championship leader, sticking his nose in there. He's trying to move forward and get some positions back because West Shire's pulling away. Here he goes again on the inside of Jason Owens.
Owens runs the high line through 3-4. Oh, and Berry just about spins. What a save by Andrew Berry. Well, maybe not. It brings out a caution flag. I don't think he hit anything, but man alive, what a save by Andrew Berry. Inside of Jason Owens, tiniest bit too much throttle. Has to lock it down, and that will bring out the caution flag. And I'll tell you what here, the more that we look at this, the more I like the strategy call from Watson, Thompson, and Fell. get a lap or two, a green flag, and a handful of laps under the caution. Basically chewing up a little over 30 seconds per lap under the caution flag here.
They're right there. They probably need one more caution, one more quickie, and I think they'll be okay. It's so close at this point, though. It's impossible to call.
The calculator is exploding in Kylo's hands. Let's see here. Yeah, lights are out, so unless we do the interviews quick here, we will not likely be able to do any more in-car interviews with the drivers tonight. Quite frankly, just not enough time to talk to anybody. Getting ready to go back racing here. 13 minutes, 30 seconds remaining on the clock. Watson will lead the field through turns 3 and 4. Back on the throttle, middle of the corner. Very nice restart there for James Watson. Slide back here, pick up Jason Owens. Oh, he almost got into Michael Long for the 6th position. And Andrew Berry not making up a ton of ground right now. Restarted 11th, and he's going to stay there, at least for the time being. Now he's going to have a peek inside of Nick Camargo. He'll get that pass completed off of turn number 2. Big, big night in the point standings if Andrew Berry can't make up a bunch more ground in the next 12 or so minutes. Full send into turn 1.
Yeah. I was worried there. Dave almost had a little bit of a moment on turn in there from the outside. He had no intention of fighting Andrew, but just the way this track is, super sketchy on that high line. As looks like Michael Long's a little bit of a cork in the bottle here. Jason Owens trying to get around him. There's a lineup waiting to get around here. As Owens looks like he's going to try and make the move this time into 3.
Long able to fight back on the outside of the racetrack. Owens has to make a little bit harder of a left-hand turn off at turn number 4. Fantastic battle deep in the pack here. This is going on for 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th. Owens able to clear Long. Long going to fight back on the outside of the racetrack, though. Zach Nurenberger having to peek down to the inside. I think Nick Camargo may have gotten a piece of the outside safer barrier. That car is very slow off of turn number 2.
Nurenberger still to the inside here of Long. Long is able to make this work. Oh, and Nurenberger's going to lose it. Both cars are going to go up the track. Long's into the wall. He did make contact with the wall. He does appear to have all 4 tires. Don't get it beached down there.
And don't back out in front. Oh, and he's stuck.
Oh, and he's done it. And he's gotten himself stuck. He has to take the tow. Oh, he was trying to play it safe and get all the way down off the track, but yeah, just another move side by side in the corner. Nothing wrong up until that point, and Zach just loses it on the inside there. A little too much entry speed, and he wipes out Michael's race, and looks like he's going to be able to keep going, though.
So I think this is the caution flag that James Watson and company needed to get them to the end of this race. Especially if they're going to keep battling like that at the back of the field. There is no way they keep all these cars in a straight line that long.
Yeah, just looking, Westshire, the first cars of the pit stoppers. So if those 3 at the front do run out of fuel, he will be the one on the gun, ready to go. Alex Teeter running behind him. Alex had been having a quiet race up in the top 5 for most of it here, just kind of hanging out. Won a race earlier in the year. I'm trying to think back to where it was. Was it at Richmond or Phoenix?
Let's take a look here.
But good night from him. Owens and Barry right behind him in 6th and 7th place. So Andrew is making up some of that ground to Wes, but still not the greatest night for him. He needs to make up a few more.
Going back to green flag racing, race winners this season, Wes Shire has a couple, Andrew Berry has 3, Chris Kresge, James Watson, Jason Owens, each with 1 win apiece. As we're down to 9 minutes left to go. Andrew Berry having the look on Alex Teeter. We'll slide back, pick up that battle into turn number 3.
Yeah, Owens already got through Teeter, going through 1 and 2 last time. Barry looking to the inside. He's forcing a move. He's on the curb. Oh, and he just keeps it off of Alex. Great driving from Barry there to keep the racing going. That was close, though. He was pushing the envelope a little bit too much. Got to slow it down, pace himself here. Still got 10 minutes to go, or 8.5 minutes to go now. So.
And Alex Teeter is no slouch in these race cars. Oh, 1 car up into the outside wall. That will bring out the caution flag, and it will be Peter Donchak. Right, once again in the battle with Zach Nurenberger. Just a little bit of a twitch, slides it up into the outside safer barrier. He'll get it looped around and rejoin at the tail of the field.
That one almost looked like a little bit of net code there. Looked like the 2 cars might have collided virtually there and sent Peter a little bit higher than he would have liked. Unfortunate, but first time we've really seen it here tonight.
Now that we have the typos fixed, let's tell you once again, coming up next Tuesday night, May 17th, the Vintage Indianapolis 500 for the TNT special events. DW12s, IR09s, Lotus 79s, Lotus 49s, and sprint cars, all on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway oval at the same time. The Delta Force intro will be making a return. I can't wait. I was spending a good part of the afternoon writing that one. The fun stuff we get to do for some of these special events, I absolutely love. Another one we have coming up here that we'll be broadcasting here on the National Racing Network. It will be on June 3rd, the World 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is a full-length 600-mile NASCAR Xfinity Series, or iRacing B-Class cars. Shoot us a comment here if you're interested in that one, but we're already going back to green flag racing here with just 6 minutes and 20 seconds left to go. Once again, James Watson gets the very nice jump. And thus far, sort of looks like Andrew Berry really not making up a ton of ground here.
He was forceful there into turn 1 with Alex Teeter, really pushed him out of the way, and Teeter's going to lose another spot to Zach Nurenberg there. Andrew Berry's on the hunt for blood here. Oh, he's right up on the gearbox of Jason Owens. They swerve, they go into the turn. Owens is going to take the high line though, and it looks like he's out of it. Andrew Berry up to 5th place, directly behind his championship rival Wes Shire now, as Wes is hustling Simon Fell for P3.
Kind of puts Andrew in a tough spot here because in addition to some frustration from the contact, you also know you got to go. There is a points battle on the line here. You really don't want to be having a 5th or 6th place finish here with a couple of rounds of the championship left.
Yeah, thankfully for him, Wes isn't having the best night either in 4th place. Not a bad night by any stretch, but could be better from Wes as he started up on the front row. But this no-stop strategy these guys in the front have been employing have worked to perfection, back of the pack. Nurenberger on the inside of Jason Owens. Owens is going to lose that spot. He might lose another one to Alex Teeter. And he will. Teeter is going to clear him into turn 3.
Man, Owens has an absolute handful right now. So we are down inside of 5 minutes remaining. If you're these guys at the front here, if you're James Watson, Stephen Thompson, Simon Fell, I know you don't want to see more yellow, but at the same time, do you really want to try to chance a 5-minute run to the checkers here?
If you're James Watson, you want to see that yellow flag immediately. If you're Stephen Thompson, you want to see none of it, because that's the only way you're going to get around him. He is hustling Watson here up front, but not really looking like he's been close enough yet. They are going to be catching up to the back markers here, though, as Rich Cleary is going to be the first car in their way. Just in front of them here, we'll see what Rich does, if he gets out of line or just stays high. And he will go high into turn 3, out of the leader's way. Might hinder an exit there. Simon fell, but doing a decent enough job, though. Top 5 are all going to be through going into turn 2. They're all in a line now. Andrew Berry up to James Watson. The top 5 are going for it here. Just under 4 minutes remaining.
Riding on board here with Stephen Thompson. He's trying to get caught up to Watson. Nick Camargo going to dive out of the way off of turn number 2 to the inside of the racetrack. And I'll tell you what, we're going to come back here because we've got a battle shaping up.
Looking at P4, Wes Shire and Andrew Berry. Those two going at it. Wes is defending on the inside line. That's where he's got to stay if he wants to keep Andrew behind him. No chance to the outside. He can get a pass done there. Wes is playing the long game here. Just doing what he did at IRP. Just making Andrew go into a place where he can't get enough on him. I say that, here he comes.
Oh, man.
Andrew Berry, championship leader.
Forcing the door open.
Side by side. They touch again on the exit of turn 4. Advantage Shire that lap, but we'll see what he can do into turn 1. He hangs it around there. They're side by side. Andrew's going to pull ahead. Not going to clear him, though. Still going to be there. They go again. Amazing stuff from the top 2 in the championship here. Anybody gets it wrong, and it's over. But Andrew Berry's going to get the job done, and he's going to get that pass made up into P4. Great stuff there from the top 2.
And starts to pull away here. And that's going to put Andrew Berry as the first car that has made a pit stop. That's also really important to take note of here, as we're down to 2 minutes and 15 seconds left. Your top 5 all nose to tail. The top 3 may be a little bit questionable on their ability to make the end of this race on fuel.
Two minutes to go in the session. James Watson is your leader, pulling out about a half a second lead over Stephen Thompson in P2. Simon Fell, Andrew Berry, Wes Shire, your top 5.
Pick back up the side-by-side here. Follow along with Andrew Berry as he's now going to go to work on Simon Fell. They are not that far back behind race leader James Watson.
And Andrew is really driving that car into the corners, trying to get the most out of the entry here, but he's got the long way to go. Simon's doing a good job of holding the line and not giving him anything to go off of here. Now just over a minute remaining.
I'll tell you what, it's almost like Simon's got this kind of nailed down. Well, we say that, and Andrew's going to force it inside of Simon Fell through 3 and 4. He'll have third position at the line, 45 seconds left.
Yeah, Wes with a wiggle there on the exit of 4. Now he's going to drop in underneath Simon Fell. Simon went way wide into turn 2, and he's going to miss out on that. So Wes is going to make up that position. Going to be right behind. Stephen Thompson's pulling over for Andrew Berry. Stephen Thompson has pulled over it.
Oh, contact! Shire's in the wall!
Shire's into the wall and out of the race. The yellow flag's going to come out. That's going to be it. James Watson is going to get the win at Martinsville. Andrew Berry is going to come home P2. And we're going to wait till they cross the line. Looks like Stephen Thompson is going to be P3.
Oh, my goodness. See what happened here. Stephen Thompson just clean out of the way. Hard racing between Wes Shire and Simon Fell. Hard impact to the outside safer barrier for Wes Shire. Simon Fell all the way down to the inside of the racetrack. But there it is. Checkered flag is out. James Watson is your winner at Martinsville.
Brilliant strategy by James there, just going for it there. James has apparently on the radio, he's saying he's got 10 laps of fuel left. He's got plenty to go there. Great stuff from him. Stephen Thompson, even though he was about 2 laps short on fuel, he said, so just really ducked out of it to get to the finish there. He's going to be coasting to a stop at any point now, but man, what a strategy call from James, and what a recovery drive from Andrew Barry. We got to talk about that as well. Championship leader going to get a huge points night. West Shire going to drop down to 9th place after everybody has crossed the line there, so that's a big night in the championship, but a big night for James Watson here. The special paint scheme and a special win there, the no-stopper at Martinsville.
Oh, don't beach it. That would be a Watts spin. That would absolutely count as one. What a finish to this one here. I would imagine a very frustrated West Shire.
Well, for a race that gave you nothing up front, it really packed it in at the ending there.
Yes, it did,
Great way to
quite
finish
frankly.
the night, but, yeah, a little bit rough on the actual racing tonight, but last 10 minutes there, we did end up staying green up until, 30 seconds to go there. So guys got a run in, and they made a show out of it. Good on them. And, yeah, just so much to talk about there. So much in such a little amount of time.
Yeah, we've got a lot to talk about here. Let's bring up, let's see. Bring up our race winner here tonight, Mr. James Watson. Oh, man. There we go. Now I got you in the room with us. James, congratulations. A fantastic run here at the Martinsville Speedway. How in the world did you said we heard you had 10 laps of fuel left at the conclusion of this race?
Yeah, I can't believe the one thing I can do pretty well on iRacing is save fuel. I had a feeling that I might be able to be close. I had no idea how I was able to save that much and to be able to actually push there towards the end. I'm just astonished.
Tell us about that late run. Were you sort of checking the mirrors a bunch when you saw Andrew pop up to the relative that he was now in second place?
Oh, I was already checking the relative the whole time, keeping an eye on Steven. I wasn't even sure I could keep Steven behind. And then when right as when I noticed, I'm like, I might be good on fuel. Then I saw Andrew. I'm like, come on.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was a hell of a show. You got a fantastic new paint job on the car here. We talked a little bit about the podcast during the show, but what's going on with Team Watson Racing setups here? That's a new logo on the side of the car for you as well.
Yes, it is. Me and the squad decided to start our own place after we spent a lot of time working for other setup shops, and after a while with some of the things that we had seen go on that we never quite sat well with us, we decided to take the vibe at our team and the camaraderie that we have and try to turn it into our own shop to where we're trying to help people out more instead of trying to roll in the dough. So I'm very proud of what we have, what we're putting together, and what's yet to come.
Well, Team Watson Racing Setups is very much a thing, and we're looking forward to what the future holds for you there. And I'll tell you what, bud, it was a good run here tonight, and this is huge in terms of the championship point standings as well for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm pretty much kind of out of it. It's a big gap to make to Wes and Andrew, but I'm at least keeping myself up there in conversation, and I at least want to bring home third in the championship. And just being able to win, like I'm so used to not winning. Like this is my third ever win, and the first season out of what 5 seasons now that I've actually won more than one race in the season. Like this is huge. Like I have a long way to go to be an actual threat to Wes, Jason, and Wes. So I just want to at least be able to have race winning pace, not championship winning pace yet, but I just want to win. And as a short track guy, the quintessential short track in Martinsville, I had this circled on the calendar the whole time, and just like Southern, I was able to make my upbringing proud and bring it home on the short track.
All right, buddy. Well, congratulations on picking up the big win here tonight in the TNT Shock Series. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yes, sir. Well, we already talked about the main one, Team Watson Racing Setups. Check us out. Start of Season 3. We'll be ready to go. And you can also already find a lot of our setups for the remainder of this season downloadable for free on Race Labs. So go on. It's super easy to get Race Labs. Just download it for free. Go on, download it. Shoot us a nice little review. I got to thank, of course, you and everyone else at NRN and all the help you've done for us. And I'm happy to have the pizza at the Pagoda, get the win. And ZAS Designs for doing all my other schemes with the exception of this one. And Martin Sports Sim Apparel.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you much for checking in with us here. Let's bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight, Mr. Steven Thompson. And, man, I'll tell you what, buddy, with a couple of laps to go, all of a sudden it looked like there was a very real possibility you were going to be third, fourth, fifth, whatever it was. And then all hell broke loose right around you. Tell us about the last couple of minutes there.
Yeah, it was amazing by James to save that much fuel. He had a lot to spare, surprisingly. I was looking to run out 1 or 2 laps in, but I kind of figured we could save enough to just coast around and take a top 5. I was really banking on one more caution. I kind of underestimated how quick those quickie cautions would be, but it worked out. I feel bad for Wes and the guys battling for 3rd and 4th, and then I just kind of get lucked out on that one. But Andrew Berry probably had the car to win. He just had to drive through the field twice. But James and I were obviously setting fast laps, so we wanted to stay out front, and it just benefited us the most.
Yeah, at some point we were down to about 19 minutes or so left, and I asked Kylo this of, is it now too late for these guys to stop? And it sort of seemed like that's what was going on, that once you hit that point in the race, you were committed to trying to stretch this to the end.
Yeah, it kind of... I didn't force myself into it, but I'm just thinking to myself, I'm such in a no man's land of the point standings that I'm just going to stay out until I can take a lap on James, get the 1 bonus point for leading, and then it somehow turned into a top 3 strategy. I knew that we had over like 23 minutes max. By the time that Wes and Andrew gave up the leads, it was too early for me, and I want to go a little bit longer because I didn't want to get messed around in the field. But yeah, I know James and I could hold off some people if we had the pace. I probably should have been a little bit more conservative under caution. I was pumping the brakes early because the cold tires were really scary, but especially when that car gets really light. Towards the end, that thing felt like it was on glass and just jumped every time we came out of 2 and 4.
Well, I'll tell you what, bud, congratulations on picking up a very nice 3rd place finish here. And before we let you go, get all those sponsor plugs and thank yous in.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to thank Pony Express. I brought my friend Zach into the league last week. Kylo and Kevin did a great job and focused on us a lot last week and hard charging through the field. I was surprised. We both got a tied hard charger. I think Zach gets another hard charger tonight. So I'm glad he joined the league. A lot of competitive guys out here, a lot of respectful racing, and We've I just got to give a shout out to you guys because I think we put on a great show. Everyone's a great community here. And sorry you were feeling under the weather, Chris. I'm looking forward to NRN's special event next Tuesday.
Yeah, we're really excited for that one, and we'll remind everybody of that one coming up after the race here. But let's bring in our runner-up finisher here tonight. This guy put on a very good run. I'm just going to be polite and call it good. You were front to back to mid to back to mid to back. You passed about 500,000 cars tonight, ultimately coming home second. Andrew, congratulations. That was a hell of a run, bud.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how I ended up in second after all that. I went from being very bored to just seeing red mist for half the race. Because yeah, it was yeah, I don't know how it ended up how it did, but I'm not complaining, that's for sure.
Yeah, and ultimately, this could be a race that when we look back at a championship run or a possible championship run, this one may stick out because you really had to earn this one tonight. Tell us about kind of what the feeling in the car was, because you were on heat cycled tires, half fuel load, full fuel loads. You kind of got to experience a little bit of everything in the car here tonight.
Yeah, I definitely was at a disadvantage on the fuel load. I don't think the tires were ever an issue. I had plenty of tread left in them, and I do pretty much anything I wanted at the end of the race. I had the biggest issue I had was getting them back up to temperature after pitting for tires. Because yeah, as you probably saw, I may have had a little incident trying to pass Jason. So.
Well, there were a few times. I mean, you really had to go full send into some of these corners. Getting around Simon was like that. Wes was like that. Even Alex Teeter getting around him. You really had to drive the car as close to the limit as you possibly could to get some of those passes made.
Yeah, it wasn't easy. I did notice pretty early on, or once I was behind people at least, pretty quickly once I got behind people, that I was getting off the corner a lot better than everyone else. So I knew that if I could get inside going down the straightaway, I had a good shot going down to make the pass in the corner. But it was just getting that run, especially with Wes, was not giving me a lot of room to pass on the inside. It was not easy to get that run on the inside.
Well, we already have updated point standings here, courtesy of Jason Owens, and it is now a 26-point lead heading into the IMS Road Course next week. What are your thoughts on that one? Because it's coming basically towards or in 2 weeks, I should say, coming up the week after we run it in the officials. Do you think that's going to give you any kind of an advantage to having turned a bunch of laps there?
Probably. Hopefully, we'll see. I haven't really run any laps yet on the road course, so we'll see how it goes. I'm not terrible in this car on road, but I think there's a couple names here that are quicker on road than they are on ovals. So should be an interesting race for sure.
It'll
probably
be
a little bit different of a finishing order than we've had the rest of the season up to now.
Yeah, this one's going to be fun to watch for sure. But all right, brother, before we let you out of here, make sure you get all the sponsor plugs and thank yous in. And congratulations once again on a nice second place finish.
Yeah, I just want to thank the broadcasting team and everyone for putting this together. It's been a fun time.
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. We appreciate you checking in with us here. And man, I'll tell you what, Kylo, this one was interesting. I'm going to call it that way. We saw, like you said, maybe not the greatest of racing, but it was still a hell of a show here. What are we thinking now as we look ahead to the IMS Road Course and then obviously Gateway, which is just an absolutely epic racetrack for these cars?
Yeah, the road course is going to be the real throw in at the dartboard. If you like, we could see a bunch of different things happen, and it's going to be fun seeing these guys turn right for once. These are the left-hand specialists, but we'll see what they can do on the right-hand turns as well through the Indianapolis Road Course. It's not the current version of the track, of course. It's the 2010 to 2013 layout, I believe. So do have that long back straightaway. So from what we're running in officials this week with really low downforce and just tiptoeing through the corners, it should be a good show. Should be able to get some passing done. So excited to see what these guys can do next week.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. Next week, or 2 weeks, I should say, is going to be, quite frankly, a really pretty epic show. And then we're going to round out the season at the artist formerly known as Gateway, now Worldwide Technology Raceway. Coming up next week, it will be the Vintage Indianapolis 500 in this time slot. Keep your eyes out. We may do a live broadcast. I may just say, screw it, I'm driving in this thing, and we'll do a tape delay watch back or something. A watch party could be probably pretty fun for that one. But we're looking forward to it. Coming up tomorrow night, it will be the Sim Racers Club here starting at, I think, 8:30, 8:45 in the East. Thursday night, it was the return of the Pennsylvania Posse against the World of Outlaws, making their first trip into Pennsylvania this season. Tomorrow night, the Gettysburg Clash at Lincoln Speedway. Friday, Saturday night, weather permitting, it will be the Morgan Cup races at the Williams Grove Speedway. Outlaws versus Posse is always a good time. Burt Wojcik and Adam Rubright will have all the discussion of that on the High Side Hustle, 7 o'clock in the East on Thursday night. Follow it up with the Ezra IndyCar Series and the Indy Pro 2000 Championship. Whole lot of stuff coming up here on the National Racing Network this week. And then we're right back with the Fuel Premier Series on Monday night. They're getting close to Fuel Finals time. You don't want to miss any of that action as well. But with that, it's time for us to get the heck on out of here. Got to go record the Pizza at the Pagoda podcast. Check that one out tomorrow afternoon. We'll have that one drop. But in the meantime, for Kylo Ciacelli and everybody here at the National Racing Network, my name is Chris Graham. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. We will talk to you all soon. Have a good night, everybody.